really most important is that we're here together, and we're going to engage in a process of learning more and more about this whole domain of vibrational healing and energy medicine, because this is becoming more and more popular and more in demand, as it should be, because we're looking at, my God, a healthcare debacle, you could call it in short, and people are feeling very disempowered around that subject. And what's interesting is when you get into the domain of understanding vibrational healing and energy medicine, a lot of which is very self-administrable, we can become empowered again and take control of our own health and our own well-being, and not wait for any doctor, not wait for any healthcare system, any insurance, or anything like that. This is like really self-designed per our psyche and soma. So that's the kind of thing that we talk about here at the Vibrational Healing Panel. I neglected to say, my name is Mitchell Rabin. I've been moderating these or on the panel for a number of years. Hello. And, it's always really interesting. We always have a really wonderful group of panelists who come. And tonight we have fewer than usual, but others may show up. We'll have to see them. Star Fuentes, who's a very dear old friend. Wonderful healer. In fact, according to the U.S. Healers Association, she was nominated as the best healer of the year of 2010. So let's then we have Greg Hogue, who's also an old friend, who is the founder of a company called Metaforms, and he's been using sacred geometric patterns and instrumentation and developing them, inventing them, for, since I've known Greg, which is, long before that, actually, and we met back in the 80s, mid-80s, actually.
About 25 years ago.
We're aging ourselves, Greg, but we're not aging. So we'll get to that by the end of the show. Yes. I host and produce a community television show called Better World, and a radio show on Progressive Radio Network, Gary Null's station, twice a week. So just go, if you get a chance, to www.abetterworld.net. You can listen to them both from there. It's a lot of fun. We talk about healing, the environment, spirituality, consciousness, making the world a better place. That's what the real game is, and how each of us can contribute to that. So Greg is in the middle, and our special guest, who just arrived on the scene, in a way, is another dear old friend of mine, Alan Steinfeld. And
he's older than I.
You know exactly. If you combine our... No, I'm kidding. Alan is a sweetheart of a guy. He has a TV show also, and a radio show. We actually occupy and do many similar things in this world. And he's got a show called New Realities, really very interesting. We swap guests all the time. And, he very much is interested in bringing forth the latest cutting-edge thinking going on, whether it's in physics, any explorations of consciousness, and his own background is actually in acupuncture. So another thing we also share. We're both licensed acupuncturists. So with that said, we're going to first have everybody introduce themselves and do a little either a spiel or a shtick, whichever they want to do. I hope you all know Yiddish. Right? Okay, this is New York. And then when you get a feel for each person, then we'll come back together, and actually it might be a really nice idea to take some questions from the audience, which could be personal in nature or theoretical, whichever you want, and can even deal with kind of the larger place of energy medicine and vibrational healing and self-healing in society. It's really up to you, okay? Sound good?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Star.
My name is Star Fuentes, and I'm a healer. I lay my hands on people. God, Spirit, Source works through me. instantly. The time for healers to be pushed to one side has ended. Most of the year, my personal assistant is a medical doctor. If you go down to my booth today, you will also see an oncologist, a Dr. Tamar Safra, who is my assistant. It is now time for the healers and the doctors to work together. It is time for old school and new school to meet and become one. I do a lot of things. I write books. I think I've wrote 6 or 7 in the last 14 months. My latest book came out on Friday. I teach 440 different topics. I do readings. This is the deal, people. When you start dealing with energy, dealing with a different type of energy, dealing with a different form of energy, comes faster and quicker. And soon, you can heal at a distance. You can heal with your hands on. You can speak and be connected to Source about most topics. And there is nothing that is impossible. Thank you.
Hallelujah. We're going to be having a revival meeting following this meeting. Good.
A shtick or a spiel? I'm a goy boy. I'm going to do a sticky spiel.
I'll leave it to you.
Okay.
Oh, you like that?
You know, I like everything. And that's the incredible time we're living in. It's like what Star is talking about. There is so much change afoot, so much opening up, and it is something that we're transforming, each one of us, and it's just a matter of allowing. You know, it's not looking to do it as much as allowing it to happen, getting out of the way, being grateful for everything that's coming through. You hear that again and again, how much gratitude is an important part of it. And yet, when you start doing that, when you start being grateful as you wake up in the morning, what can come through is amazing. And what I do is I build tools. I'm a tool maker. So I create things to support people in their process. Because there's so much, I mean, it's just like what she's talking about, what we're doing with doctors now, where there's so much that's going on that is creating blockage in this world right now. I mean, the way we generate energy, it's always around taking bits of this stuff and breaking it apart and trying to get a little bit of energy out of it. And we create things that are toxic in the process. And that's affecting us. And the way it affects us more than anything is it disconnects us from Source. You know, that's what Star was talking about. It's possible to be connected to Source more and more and more. It's not only possible, it's exactly who you are. It's exactly your birthright. It's exactly the fact that each one of us is a spiritual being. And we've chosen to come into a physical body and be here. You know, sometimes you go, did I really choose this? Thank you for sharing. There can't be a God if I'm here doing this. I mean, it's kind of like, sorry, you are it. I mean, you are that creator that has chosen to make things interesting, to make things fun. You know, if our leaders were doing it all, there'd be nothing for us to do. If there weren't some, you know, light side and something that seems to be the absence of light, because it really doesn't exist, it's just like turning the light off, there wouldn't be a choice in our lives. And then what sense would it be to be a free will being? Free will being. However, if you didn't have some choices. So that's it. Let's discern. Let's make our choices. Let's move into our hearts and be able to experience that connection, because that's where healing comes from. It's like every single difficulty you have in your life, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's the cat going on the rug. I mean, it's big stuff, little stuff, any kind of stuff. Anything that's not working is simply a reflection of somewhere where you've disconnected or denied that connection with Source. Because you are a spiritual being, a divine being that has the ability to move that energy through all the time. And that's what makes the difference in our lives. And that's what we're learning. There are processes, there are ways of helping yourself along. There are tools that I work with to help people with that process. And in the end, it's all about you opening up to how incredible you are and letting that come through, because that's the changing of the age we're in. It's the opportunity to bring more love, more consciousness into this world, into this dimension, and expand God, expand Source. Source wants to expand through you, and all you have to do is allow it. And there are so many things to learn and open up to. It's a fun, exciting time. And we're going to have a lot of time to talk, because there's only 3 of us up here. So there are 4. You want to talk?
You get to talk too.
Oh, that's true. You do like to talk, don't you? I love you.
Pass the microphone on.
I got it.
He's got his own.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Thank you, Greg and Star and Mitchell. These are my teachers. I've been searching and finding. You know, people seek, and you know, my mother would say, "Why are you doing that? Get a job." I said, "But you know, I found
Seek a job.
seek a job." But no, I found. You know, I have found. I found. No, you do seek and you do find if you keep on connecting to what your heart truly wants you to go towards. And this is the age of transformation. I mean, we've been doing this for so long, but now we are seeing the fruits of this labor. I did get a job, labor. No, fruits of this, really, because it's so rewarding to see people like Deepak Chopra out there on Larry King and everything we've been talking. I mean, I met Greg in 1980. He was sitting under a copper pyramid somewhere at some expo. And it's like, wow. I mean, that was the beginning of my search, meeting these people and say, you know, there is something called energy. And we exist beyond this physical vehicle. You know, so the science will have you think we end here, you know. But all the things we've been learning, we realize we exist beyond this field. We emanate a field. So as far as my eyes can see, that's my visual field. And beyond is my mental field. And consciousness is non-local, so that's the field of the universe. And that's where we all reside, on those levels. And I've had experiences. It's not like I've just heard this. I've had experiences. Actually, last night I had an out-of-body experience. So I knew I was not just in my body. I dreamt that I was kind of waking up out of my dream. And I felt myself lifting up out of my body. So the brain was sort of is an interdimensional device and can tell that it's in 2 dimensions at once. It's shifted its vibration. And this is what we're discovering, that we exist in a field of energy. And it's so exciting that now science is proving that. People like Lynn McTaggart, who wrote the book The Field, is saying, yes, we live in an interactive field of, I'm picking up information from you, you're picking up information from me. And the popular culture is proving that. You know, things like the internet. Everyone in the ego mind thinks they're just working with their personal computer, but if you open up to this higher mind, you realize you're connected to the internet. You're connected to the higher mind. It's a non-local signal that we're picking up all the time. So this new age, this new consciousness is the realization that we are connected to the source, like they're saying here. And it's very exciting that technology, science, and personal experience is validating what mystics throughout the ages have always known. So we're really coming into the Aquarian age, and I think it's the best time, really. It's everyone's waking up. On whatever level we're waking up, and we're all having realizations about who we are on the grand scale of things. We're more than our bodies, we're more than our minds, we're more than our personalities, and we're having these senses come alive inside of us, these subtle senses. I mean, Gregory developed these instruments because he knew, he was aware of a sense of, that you can't put a name on, but there was a sense of consciousness that this is my guess, that you were aware of that was an evolution for human consciousness. And Star, too, with her healing. So we're awakening new senses, and I'll do a demonstration later to show you how tangible these new senses are. But it's very exciting to be here, and it's very exciting to see everyone else here. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much. You know, it's really such a pleasure for me to be with my friends. And it's funny, you know, I went to acupuncture school in the early 80s after finishing a degree in psychology because I wanted to integrate the body with the mind. And back in 1980 or 81, that wasn't such a popular concept. Today, everybody's talking about it. But then, there was a group of us, and including my friends here, even though we weren't necessarily together at that time, who were following our hearts, like Alan was saying, just following our inspiration to do what we felt was right. Money wasn't important. Social acceptance wasn't important. The things in consensual reality just did not reach us in the ordinary way. We were really, looking back, we didn't think of it then, we were pioneers. We can see that, I mean, I certainly see it in retrospect, looking back, because now everybody's on the bandwagon. And it's fabulous because this means that mainstream is changing. And yet, when I also look, I see that there were some really courageous folks, honestly, back, and every generation has them. And we've been marching to our own drummers, not taking no for an answer, and willing to go and persist and be tenacious about it until now, when we're, in a sense, giving birth to this whole new paradigm. And everybody kind of wants to come out and play. But I kind of feel like there's been, over the generations, people who've been leading each generation, who've been setting the stage for that miracle, which is now happening to happen. And once, you know, did any of you see that email that went out which said that there's this huge epidemic happening and it's spreading really fast, not only across the country, but also around the world? Do you remember this email? Well, you know what the contagion was? Love. Everybody was experiencing it. All they had to do was look at somebody and love. They felt love. And this is the kind of energy field that we have been developing over the course of God knows how many generations. But it's like it's here now to really take root. So, you know, I know there are a lot of people who received that particular email who just smiled with their whole body when they saw it. Because we know that this is the reality of the current situation. More and more people, I feel, are waking up in the morning and in general. And like Greg was talking about, waking up into a sense of gratitude. And when you start the day that way, you start to just feel like empowered. And like life is yours. It belongs to us. And that's the kind of energy I really like to help generate in these vibrational healing panels. That, you know, we're here, but welcome, Jay. Hola.
I didn't even know I have to be here.
Bienvenidos.
Thank you.
It's this energy that all of us make a difference. We just happen to be the mouthpieces, you know. And yet, in fact, everyone is having these intuitions. Everybody is having synchronicities. Everyone is seeing their instincts show up. Is that true? in your life? Like more and more and more synchronicities, more awarenesses, more subtle breakthroughs in consciousness? Where you go, my God, I'm understanding things. I'm just feeling a feeling of love or compassion out of nowhere. And that's that source that everyone here has been talking about, my friends. It's that source of which is us in reality. And the more and more we relate and identify with it, the more that kind of spontaneous combustion can occur. And the ordinary world, as we usually interpret it, because it is an interpretation, starts to fade. And we can live more and more in the present, in the moment. And by the way, that's where all healing takes place. We can get out of our own way and be our own best healers, because that's really where it is. Yeah, I do acupuncture with, actually I use a biofeedback system. That's my instrument, like Greg has his. We all have different techniques. I use this software, this amazing thing, and another one using a photograph that I send a whole bunch of frequencies to the photograph, which is a holographic image of the person. Basically, they're what we refer to as biofield. And what, I said to someone who's just starting to work with me today, basically I'm doing love-based voodoo. And in reality, that's really what it is, because we can take something like a photograph, or we can even just take the name of someone, and we can send it our intention. And actually, Alan and I spent a fair amount of time with Dr. Larry Dawsey last week. Was it last week or the week before? And we were talking a lot about premonitions showing up in the medical field. At Harvard Medical School, he was giving a lecture, and he said, either this is going to go brilliantly, or they're never going to be inviting me back here again. Because he was talking about the role of premonitions to a bunch of doctors. And he said, after the lecture, he said, are there any questions? And one woman raised her hand immediately and said, yes, I want to just tell you, I've had premonitions going on with my patients for a long time. And there's this feeling that I get inside my stomach every time I know there's going to be a healing. And it happens. It's routine. It's reliable information that I get in my gut. And for me, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, give me the liberty, it's more reliable than hooking them up to the MRI. Okay? So this is the kind of change that is going on. And now STAR has assistants who are doctors, because more and more they're getting the message. They're recognizing the limitations of their modalities, and they want to sign up. Why? Because in their hearts, they're real healers. Many are. And they want to step outside of corporate industrial medicine and come around to personal, real medicine, if you will. So anyway, just sharing a few thoughts with you all about this whole idea. So, bienvenidos, Jay.
Thank you.
We've known each other from, actually originally from the UN.
That's right.
If I remember correctly. So would you grab a microphone there to you, Les, and just speak to folks and introduce yourself.
It's on.
It's on. My name is Jay Manuel, and I apologize because I didn't know I had to be here this afternoon. And humbly, what I can tell you is that everything in the universe is in a state of vibration. Every thought we create, it vibrates and creates sound. Every thought we create when we speak, the sound creates. That's why the Bible and many books speak that the words have so much power. And I humbly play the boards, crystal boards, to patients with cancers, people, autistic children. I also use the sounds of the orphan, but especially the sounds of the board with the crystal. And I've seen amazing results with people. The most important thing when you open the heart and the purity of the spirit, and you let the sound come from the center of the universe to your spirit, and you just let the sound travel to people, it's amazing transformation taking place. I've seen people with traumas, cancer, that when we place, for example, I work a lot with the 528 frequency, which is the frequency of the solar plexus, that many mystical groups mention that the frequency that the rabbis utilized when they destroy the Jericho walls. They surround the walls of Jericho for 6 days. The tribe of Israel doing the sound in the 528 frequency with the mantras. And then in the 7th day, all they unite the mind power and send the energy, and the Jericho were destroyed. The same way we could do to banish any disharmonious energy in our subatomic cells, tissues, or organs. In vibrational medicine, we said that when people get sick because any area or tissue of the body is not vibrating at the right frequency, the frequency is lacking. And with the power of love and intention and the mantra, the main thing is to have the intention, visualization, visualize light and sound, and then with the mantra and sound, send the mantra and the sound to that area. And when you send it with love and with purity, it immediately starts taking transformation. The sound of the voice is the most powerful sound of the sounds of the universe. The sound, also the whales and the dolphins, but the sound that we create when we speak, according to the volume, the voice, the way we project the voice, you can define the state of the consciousness of the person. The crystal balls, the Tibetan balls, all these are tools that help us. Many civilizations have been utilizing, from Indians, Tibetans, Native Americans, the instruments, natural instruments and crystals to transform the subatomic structure of cells and everything around us, in combination with mantras. So much to say about vibration that I will be your afternoon, but if you want to come later to my booth, I will give you a demonstration, humbly, sound, and you stand and open your heart, and you just, whatever you feel. But when it comes from the purity of the heart and with love, love is the most powerful energy in the universe. Love transforms, love regenerates and creates. And when we put the sound with love, it's an amazing transformation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Star, would you like to do a little...
Now we're getting from thought to action.
Can I fit this little space?
Of course.
Oh, yes. All right, can everybody hear me? Yes. Good. Who has a lump or a bump right now? You, come forward. Now, the first thing you have to understand, just exactly as this beautiful man has said, that sometimes a disease, a lump or a bump, is about energies we don't possess or we don't have with us. What is your name? And where's your lump or bump?
It's on my shoulder.
Can you feel it right now? Can you feel the size of it? Okay, so you're going to help me. We're going to radiate light and energy here. You're going to help me change the size of this lump or bump. Everybody take a deep breath from your very heart, from any part of you, from the strength of your connection to Earth and to Source. Help me. Touch it.
It's down.
Say it.
It's down.
It's down. How many seconds did that take? This is where healing is going to. Now you come see me in my booth and we'll work out a way to make that disappear. This person over in this area here who had this lump or bump, who raised their hand. Who else has a lump or bump?
I have a cyst.
Anybody else?
A cyst.
Who else has a disease, a bad back, an elbow that they can't lift? Something. You, man.
We have one cyst over here, going once, going
One fibromyalgia. Anybody with a fibroid tumor. Okay, I'll take you, and then I'm going to take you. So people, you don't need a lot of medicine. You need energy. You don't necessarily, but sometimes you will need energy to work with medicine. It doesn't take forever to heal. Sometimes, with the right vibration, the right love, the appropriate God and earth. Please don't be so spiritual minded and be going up there in spirit. When you do physical healing, you got to have earth. What is your name?
Alex.
And where's your lump?
I don't have a lump.
What do you got?
I have a herniated disc in my neck, and
Uh,
I have shoulder
Okay,
pain.
whoa,
and
one thing at a time.
No, it's all
Let's
connected.
heal one thing at a time.
It's all
Tell me,
connected.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does that hurt right now?
It doesn't hurt here. It hurt. The pain is in here.
Okay, how much pain on a scale of 1 to 10 in your arm?
5.
5. Everybody take a deep breath. Just turn this way a little bit. Take a deep breath. Bring in earth, bring in your connection. Bring in wholeness. 1, 2, 3. Well, again. 1, 2, 3. Look at me. Turn around. Look me straight in the eyes. What's different? It doesn't hurt. Round of applause. Anchor a miracle. Come on, give me a round of applause. Gratitude. Gratitude. Please go sit down. This is you. Everybody can heal like this. You have to have intention. You have to do your work, your own personal healing work. You have to do this. Become one, connected with earth and connected with spirit to heal. Now, where's that other lady I told who could come up here? Was it you in the white jacket that had another? Take a deep breath, people. There are 2 types of teachings. There's a taught teaching and a caught teaching. A taught teaching is when you go to medical school, please stand over here, and you learn and you learn and you learn. And a caught teaching is when you're in the presence of somebody who can do it, and then you can do it. So pay attention. Tell me your name.
Susan,
Susan, what's your problem?
fibromyalgia,
And how tired are you right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
5, really 7. 7.
My, she's getting
I
tired.
got here anyway.
Okay, fibromyalgia is a whole body thing. Now, last time we had my hand to focus the energy. Bring spirit and earth together. Bring the dimensions together. Bring love. And this woman needs peace. Bring it together. Everybody help me, help me, help me. Good. More. How do you feel?
Tired. But I have a long way to go.
Okay, and sometimes, let me tell you about healing. Sometimes it doesn't happen in 30 seconds. Sometimes it takes a while. I'd like you to give her a round of applause. And tomorrow we'll see her doing cartwheels. Okay, thank you. So it's about connection. It's about being connected to Source. This is a yes universe. You think bills? And the universe goes, yes. You think, oh my God, I'm so sick, I'm never going to feel better. Oh, I'm just going to get sicker. You think healing. I'm healing quicker. Whatever the major word is at the end of the day that you thought the most, that's what you get. If you thought bills, you get bills. If you thought disease, you get disease. It's not one thought can create your reality. It's thought creates your reality. So if you're thinking how sick and how miserable, and this is a yes universe, how alone you are. We're going to take one more person. One more person. I promise somebody. Oh, honey, I promise somebody back there. That beautiful lady right there. Come on, you. Come on up here.
I need your touch.
You come here. Let me rub you, baby. Oh, Gretchen, cool. Oh, there you go.
Thanks.
Good healing for you. What is your name?
Susan.
And what can we work on for you?
Lift my arm up.
Oh, you can't lift your arm up.
Well, no.
Okay.
No. Wow.
Okay, so lift your
Okay.
lift your arm up as high as you can lift this arm. That's good.
Oh, well, it hurts.
Ah, okay, now, hold on. Everybody in the room, help me. Help me. Help me. Help God. Help Source. Help her. Put the love, the light, the energy in her arm. Let her embrace life. Let her embrace life. Take a deep breath. More connection, more vibration, more love. Suzanne, would you lift your hand, please? Please lift your arm. A round of applause.
And thank you all for helping me. Thank you.
Lead, create, connect, love, and heal. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're going to play, and this is fun because this works with energy, but it not only works with energy, I can show you how it works with energy around someone. Do you want to come up and I'll work with you for a moment? Want to be a mic stand?
Yes.
Stand here, Mike. I'm like you. Okay.
I don't let a lot of people do that.
Good. So how do you like this?
It's, I feel energy moving around.
Wow.
So what it's doing is it's working out here in your field to start to heal blockages. It starts to create flow. And so you actually, without touching your body, you can feel energetically what's going on, and to be able to open the third eye and to move energy through and working with your throat, integrating it with your heart, moving the energy down. It's like combing your body in a way where what's fun is that people feel this. And bottom line, feeling really is only when the energy is coming through the next dimension, the etheric dimension, which is only an inch or so above your body. But as the energy comes through into your body, you feel that. But nevertheless, on higher dimensional levels, like on the mental level, there's movement also happening that we don't feel. We may notice it intellectually or some way in terms of stress being released. There may be energy moving on another dimensional level that's more on the level of the psychology of what's going on, the psychic aspect of what's going on, the spiritual aspect. We are multi-dimensional beings, and so we all don't tune in to just the feeling part, but it's the way everything else starts going on in our lives. Yes?
I felt it most in the area of my third eye.
Oh, that's where I was focusing to open things up as I was moving in here.
Very intense.
I have a tendency to do that with people, to help with their seeing, to help with that knowing this is such an important part of our being. The pineal gland, that third eye, that is the master gland of the body. You open that up, you get the energy flowing there. There's a cascade effect, and all aspects of your body start coming into alignment.
Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Okay, she wants to know what's this about. So I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, bottom line, let's see. The pineal gland. Let me complete with that because, so much of what we're doing right now, like with the electricity, that allows us to stay up late at night, we start forgetting about the cycles of the sun or moon because we don't have to worry about it. But our body still is on certain rhythms, certain cycles. And so the pineal, when it's thrown off like that, starts doing something where it doesn't work as properly. All the other glands in the body start following suit, and pretty soon you have another part of our whole essential system being thrown off by something that's part of our technological growth. And, you know, we just don't realize all these things that we're creating that are really not taking into consideration what we need as physical beings. I mean, we're spiritual beings, but we're using a physical body. We're using an animal body, actually. A body that has hormones, that drives us around. A body that has emotions. And so we can talk more about that. This is quite an amalgamation of different things that's working with the six-pointed star, which is always blending heaven and earth. And it's woven together, in and out, so it spins the energy. It's woven actually opposite the way you'll see in Kabbalistic practices, I should say modern Judaism, because they're working with least we forget. This is about weaving the future. This is about moving in a different direction. And I have the phi ratio in the middle of that, which is how the body's created. When you work with the 2 more minutes, okay? Bottom line, it works with the physical body in many ways. And that's what I like to play with things. This is something new that I'm playing with. Is there someone up here that has an ache or a pain? Did you have something? Here, let me just, where do you have the ache or pain? And on your lower back? Can you just hold that against your lower back? This is a new kind of crystal that's been discovered called Anchi that is working, found in only one place in the world, and they're doing about $25 million in research in Russia, in Europe, parts of the United States, trying to figure out why these things are moving so much electrical earth energy. And so what we're finding is that the body needs electricity to heal. And often the blockages that we create through stress, through something physical, through something emotional, blocks that flow of energy. This is something that you may sit down and have that for a while, and we'll just talk to you later on and see how that's made a difference. Can you feel anything at the moment? Okay. I feel some ease. Feel some ease already. It starts moving energy. Again, energy that you can move, that's what makes a difference in your life, because we're blocked so many places. So I'll come back and share some more stuff later. So here we go.
Thanks, Greg. And now,
Mark wants to
an announcement from our sponsor, Mark Becker.
Hi. Yeah, thank you. Now, I'm sorry that I wasn't here at the beginning, but it still amazes me how many people don't even understand energy or believe in energy, when in this day and age, we realize that energy is where it's at. It's number one. It's more important than food. It's more important than air. It's more important than water. Energy is number one. We're atoms, we're protons, we're electrons, we're neutrons. So it shouldn't amaze us now in 2010, especially with people like we have on the panel, if you've been coming to the shows, if you read the newspaper, if you, even the doctors with the acupuncture, magnets, so that if anybody, the reason that we really do this show is to help you understand, so you can have an intelligent conversation with somebody, especially an intelligent conversation with somebody that is a pessimist. And pessimists are really easy to turn into optimists. They're the easiest, because it's black or it's white. So it's easy to turn from black to white. The gray is kind of a little hard, this level of gray to that level of gray. but from everything from the moon ruling the tides to full moon, everything. It's just, energy is what's going on. And so when you talk about energy, on a logical conversation with somebody, atoms, protons, neutrons, this is us. And this is how we run. And even when people die, people flatline every day in the hospital, every day. And all of a sudden they come back to life. Now why? Their breath is gone, but the energy is still there. In yoga we call it prana, there's chi, and in every different modality, it's a different name, but it's all energy. And what happens is if you really ever heard a person die, it's and that's when the energy leaves the body. Some people say it's the soul that goes, the spirit that goes, but that's when it leaves. But until then, you can flatline constantly and still be shot back as long as your energy is there. I'm out of here. Thank you very much.
Mark Becker, you sure you don't want to be on the panel? I want to just say a word to Mark Becker. Come here. This man has been behind the NEWLIFE Expo since 1991.
Oh yeah, we have a chance. No, I forgot. This is our 20th anniversary. I forgot all about it, so in October I'm going to announce it. But it's our 20th anniversary.
Wow.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Mark Becker. We owe you a great debt. Through thick and thin, when it was not so popular, he kept going. Remember when I was talking about the pioneers? Mark Becker is one of those. I love you, brother. So, some musica.
How many minutes do we have?
You have 8.5 minutes.
Could I show something with the music through this?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because something... Okay.
Just to say, actually, something that Greg mentioned when he was speaking just before about electricity, or what we really refer to as bioelectricity. It's a special brand of electricity. There's a book called The Body Electric by Robert S. Becker, going back to 1979 or 80. And it describes the role, the important role of electricity in our healing. So whether it's nutritional or whatever approach we use, hands-on healing, Tai Chi Chuan, Qigong, it's really a game of electricity. So I just wanted to corroborate something that Greg was saying.
And I wanted to share something with you with the sound. When we're working with this piece and what I was doing with you, this geometry, it not only works with when you're moving the energy around you, but it works with sound and intent as well. For example, if I'm here and I say, love, 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 could you notice the difference when I speak through this? Isn't that interesting that I could talk to you about your power and about the strength of who you are? I could talk to you about your power and the strength of who you are. Do you feel the difference on what level you're hearing this? It takes it to another dimensional level. It takes it deeper within your being. This is the way geometry, sound, geometry and sound are almost the same thing. They're just moving at different speeds.
Let's have Jay do this, and if you want to use this with
The language of the universe is sacred geometric. And when we think inside our mind, a lot of sacred geometric shape in millions of seconds take place. And I just want to say something briefly that was given to me in a few seconds. Open your mind to the powers of vibration. Open your heart to the power of harmonic sounds. Everything in the universe is in a state of vibration, reflection of light consciousness of God. Open your eyes to the power of divine light. Open your mind to the power of creative thought. Every thought your mind creates is in a state of vibration, reflection of the consciousness of your soul. And right now, with the help of my brother here, and the secret geometry he has, that has a lot of power because we have it within our bloodstream. If you read the book of the Key of Enoch, there is one key that talks about the secret geometry within the structure of the blood. pyramid shapes, inverted with produce what is here, the hexagon, which is actually the metratonic energy. I'm going to give you the sound of the heart chakra, and just visualize the golden white silver light coming from the center of the universe. I'm bringing healing to every one of you and also to the entire planet. And through the power of love, bringing healing to Mother Gaia. Close your eyes. You heard me with them. And we use the sound of Om, which is the sound of the universe. May peace prevail on earth and in the hearts and the consciousness of everyone here and in our planet. May all sentient beings be free from suffering. May all sentient beings have peace. May all sentient beings be in divine order. Amen. Namaste.
Keep the light. Good. Yeah.
Alan Steinfeld.
Well, that's good. Well, let's stay in that vibration because that state of consciousness is what's healing. But I use an instrument that we all have, and that is the brain. The brain is like a radio, and we just have to turn the dials and shift the frequency. So these instruments put us in a certain frequency. But we have that power anytime we desire to shift the frequency. And I'll do 2 demonstrations of that. So the first one is, it's very simple but difficult. The first vibration that we all have is just to be present. Just to be here. Just to feel yourself right here. In the chair. In this room. Listening to these sounds. That is a fine frequency of your brain. No thought. No tomorrow. No yesterday. Just there on the chair. Feeling what you're feeling. Just that's the harmonics of your being. Just feeling presence. stay there. If you have your eyes closed, open your eyes, but stay in that place. Presence. You can feel how the collective atmosphere of this room has shifted because we went somewhere else. We went here. We got here. So right now, the vibration and actually the reality we're in is different than we were in a few seconds ago. So take that. That's your individual presence that's added to this atmosphere. What we're going to do now is combine these consciousnesses together in one movement. So with that presence now, we're going to shift the frequency a little more. I want you to raise it up. Don't ask how. Over your head. Just lift it, lift it, lift it to the ceiling. Lift your presence to the ceiling. Just lift it, lift it to the ceiling. Good. Wow. Good. Okay. Now bring it down, bring it down, bring it down to the ground. Good. Bring it down to the ground. Good. If you develop your subtle sense, you can feel the difference in that. Good. So now it's on the ground. Now we take it from the ground. And now lift it, lift it, lift it, lift it beyond the ceiling. Beyond the ceiling. Up to the top of this building. Good. Good. Feel the buzz of that vibration. Good. Take it from the top of the building. Now bring it down. Good. Past the floor, right down to the center of the earth. Feel how deep your consciousness goes to the center of the earth. Feel the heaviness of that. That's good. Feel where you are, that connection, because consciousness is everywhere. Where you place it, it's there. It's in the center of the earth now. Good. Feel how deep you go. Feel that. Now we're going to take that depth. We're going to raise it up through the earth, up through your body. We're going to energize your body with it. We're going to bring up through your head, up to the ceiling, up to the top of the building, up to the furthest star. Feel that. Feel that go to the stars. To the stars. Feel yourself vibrating at that frequency of heavens, the stars. Now keep a part of yourself there, but bring yourself back. Pull that energy back in. Feel the presence of that. Okay, just going to lift it up one more time. Lift it up beyond the ceiling, beyond the building, back up to the stars. Good. Back down to your center, right into your third eye, with a thought and intention on it. We have this power to be anywhere we want. Power to send that energy to any part of your body to heal with tools, without tools. You have that power. It's the power of God consciousness within the human vehicle. And that's our birthright. And with that, we change the fabric of reality, like we just did. It's okay. Just joined our collective energies to create a beautiful reality. It's that easy with thought. because the nature of this room has changed. The nature of the presence that we're in has shifted. We've created a new reality. Right? Stay there. Don't come all the way back. Stay. Take it with you. You always have this place that you can go to lift your vibration, because it is you. It's consciousness. That's a simple demonstration of our innate ability to use vibration and the vehicle of the brain. It's amazing, right? Did everyone feel that? Well, most people? That's incredible. This was a great group for intention, and you really linked. It's, Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
You see, just changed. Now it just went back.
isn't everyone feeling quite amazing right now? This is our creation, as Alan was saying. It's collective work. Now, there's another step of this energy that in the next thing we'll do, we'll hope to ground it even more in the present and in our bodies. Star made a really valuable point before when she said, don't get too heavenly and too spiritual. Remember Earth. So, one of the oldest of all time energy medicine, vibrational healing practices comes from ancient China. There's Tai Chi Chuan and Qigong. And it gives us a really simple way to do a lot on our own, by ourselves, in the quiet of our own bedroom. So, if we can take that energy that just got generated through everybody's beautiful work and contribution here, and all of us rising to that level, talk about rising, stand up. Create a little space, and we're going to do a very simple Qigong exercise, okay? Does anybody practice, do Qigong out here? A little bit here and there, okay. In fact, along the same metaphor and theme of what we've been doing here tonight, it's called the marriage of heaven and earth, okay? And it looks like this. And just join with me as we do it. Stand with your feet just shoulder width with the, oh, okay, great, thanks, Al. With your toes just slightly pointed in to give you a really good grounding. I should use this one. Make this make good. Okay, and just be totally soft in your body and let your arms hang from your shoulders and feel as though, you know, in those anatomy classes where there's a skeleton, that you're being pulled up by a hook, but let everything hang off of that. Now, while we're doing this simple preparation, remember in your body the feeling that we all generated here just moments ago. And what we're going to do here is simply this. This is visual. You can follow along. Everything is very soft and easy and heavy, as though you are swimming in air. Come back and point your heart to heaven and feel that expansiveness. It feels so good across the chest and up through the arms and the fingers. Receive the chi of heaven right into your heart, right into your body. And your fingers are essentially antennae, picking up the energy from above. And slowly come back, like this, slowly. And you take that chi that you gathered from heaven, and you're washing your body with it through your hands, washing your body with a heavenly chi, and you're bringing it into your body, all the way down. Bend your knees, all the way down, slowly. And then when you're at the bottom of the earth here, grab the chi from the earth into your hands and bring it slowly and gradually into your center, like that. And just resume the simple, soft position. And breathe from your center, what we call the Dantian. Excellent. Okay, now, inwardly quiet and maintaining that same inner attitude of softness, of ease, of an awakened mind. Allow your arms to come back out, reaching outward and upward and toward heaven, and allow them back so your heart and chest relate directly to heaven. And in this position, receive the chi from above. Feel it actually entering you, your chest, your whole body, and your fingers. Slowly come back up to an upright position. And breathe right through it. Does that feel good or what? And then down, allowing the energy you received in your and through your hands to bathe your body in chi. Because that's what's happening. It's very real. Everyone here feels it. And down your thighs, down your legs, and then you're going to marry that heavenly chi with earth chi into your hands. Hands are magic. They're the place of so much healing. And bring them to your center and feel. Because there's magic in 3, we'll go one more time, okay? Slowly out. Everything is slow with the metaphor of swimming through the air and back. And it feels a little dance-like, and allow that feeling of gracefulness to occur. And you open your heart and your chest to heaven. Receive the chi. And slowly gather it, gather it, gather it inward. So your head receives, your third eye receives, your face receives, your throat chakra receives, your heart chakra receives, your solar plexus receives, your sex chakra receives, all the way down. Down your thighs, still going down. And gather the earth chi to marry with the heavenly in your hands, through your palms, and bring it in to your Dantian, your center. And come to upright with your eyes closed. And just feel what it's like to integrate heaven with earth right through the laboratory of your own body. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah. It's like our minds go hither and thither and seem to avoid the present, but the body is always in the present. So that's why I wanted to bring us yet another level into the physical realm where there's no question about our presence. So we have a few more minutes left, is that correct? And, okay, great. What I'd like to do, because I said this at the beginning, and I don't want to go back on my word, is that, but now we're in this state of opening this up to any comments, any questions that any of you may have for anyone up on the panel, or some experience that you have had by going through what Star was doing, what Greg was doing, what Jay or Alan or myself were doing, and just share with us anything you'd like to about your experience. Yes?
I have a question for whoever. Would like to comment.
Can you lean forward?
I have a question for whoever would like to comment on it. We're so surrounded by all these frequencies and undesirable electronic cell phones and whatever. What do you think about the vibrational power of essential oils in our energy field, and can they alter the frequencies?
Beautiful, thank you. Good question.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone will want to answer it. You want to begin, Alan?
Yeah, of course, essential oils is the soul of the plant, and plants are here to help us, and each oil has its own signature frequency. So by taking the right ones, like homeopathy, you have to know the right ones to take, but it will lift us up. Plants are here to help us, and they add to our frequencies if we're deficient in something. So, yeah, use essential oils, but people are using them now like they're water, and they're very fine ingredients. You need to mix them with a carrier oil. It's a science to essential oils, and it takes reading up on it in order to know how to use them properly. And it's a whole formula. You don't want one, you want to mix it with certain other oils in order to bring out the essence of the main oil. The Chinese have whole formulas for these things, but you want to read it before you just use an oil. That's what I say.
Jay?
Oils is the frequency of Mother Earth. It's the giving, the love of Mother Earth through the vegetation. Oil has an amazing, it's been measured in megahertz, and every one of them have a particular frequency. You need to find out which frequency, which area of your body you need to align or need to unblock, and find that oil or frequency of sound that is needed at the very moment you need that therapy or help. Everybody vibrating a different frequency. Every one of us can get a blockage in any area of the body, depending on the state of consciousness or emotional state we are. Oil, as well as vibration, have the faculty and the power to unblock those blockages and to open channels to let the energy flow more freely. But you have to find the right frequency and the right oil.
Thank you, Jay.
I just want to say one thing. Every single thing in creation has gifts it wants to offer for us. I mean, all the mineral kingdom, all the plant kingdom, all the animal kingdom. We are their Godhead, and we have neglected that responsibility. But in working with all of them and their gifts, the most important thing, I believe, is your intent and your focus and how you bring it to bear in your life. Because subtle energy will dance the way you want it to dance. And one person will draw upon the essential oil this way, this same essential oil will be drawn on by another person in another way. So it's so important in you discovering your way and bringing that to bear in getting everything in this creation to dance in relationship with you. So thank you.
Great point. Thank you, Greg. No? Okay. First thing I would say in response to that is the phrase, mind is healer, mind is slayer. I know there's a tremendous amount of conversation around about the effects of electronics and cell phones and everything else. And I don't doubt that there is some real biological, bioelectrical effect. However, before we even get into the dance of the oil and all of understanding the frequency, is to understand our relationship to any phenomenon, and how we regard it and how we hold it is what will be determining its influence and its effect. Will it have its own objective, measurable effect despite our mindset? It could. However, because of intention and because of the power of the mind and the psychic field is so powerful that how we hold a thing will be largely responsible for the way that thing, whatever that thing may be, affects us. And that goes for everything. And that's why the whole domain of looking at belief systems and perceiving our perception of life is a key to our healing, our growth, and our transformation. So you get that? The work of Dr. Bruce Lipton in cellular biology and the biology of belief, we know that there are biological components to the way we hold information in the biocomputer of our brain. And it will be affecting our body by the way we hold it and the way we empower it and valence it with our emotion. So yes, eat good food, don't talk on the cell phone too much, etc. Be smart. However, be most mindful of the role of your mind in all engagements.
Can I just say something about...
And use oils.
There's just something we sometimes give lip service to, and that's the mind as an aspect of the brain, as an aspect of this computer here. And there are higher and lower aspects of it, but bottom line, our emotions feed into things, our mind feeds into things, but more importantly than that is your beingness. That's what really changes things. It's the ability to connect into the highest aspect of your being, which is not a mindful thing, which is not an emotional thing. Those are only filters that happen on the way from source into this dimension. And so it's, we get our emotions aligned with love rather than fear, and we are opening the gates. We get our mind aligned to opening the gate. We get our psychology, our other aspects of our being, each dimensional level, but it's the level of beingness, the level of soul, the level of creator, the full level of God within each of us that is doing the changing. And the mind is just one small aspect that filters or opens the gate along that process of energy flow.
Thank you. Absolutely. On that note, Alan and I spent some time with Amika Swami of What the Bleep Do We Know?
That's right.
Okay, his last book is called Creative Evolution, and he just came out with a DVD. You should really go and check it out, called The Quantum Activist. And we were hanging out with him this past week. And one of the major breakthroughs in his mind was understanding that all the material world has beneath it consciousness, underneath the whole game, that it's not a material science, it's actually a consciousness science as a function of it, as part of which is our material world, not the other way around. And when he had that realization, his entire world, turned on its head, no pun intended. And his life as a nuclear physicist just completely radically shifted. And he realized that consciousness, as Greg is implying here, is underneath everything. So I think we're out of time, so I'd like each person, if you would, say your booth, your lecture, your website, let
I think in booth 106 tomorrow. I'm teaching Blessed by Healing. If you want a healing, come to it. Sunday, I Want My Mate and Deep Track. Please come to my classes.
I want my mate. No.
I'm going to be doing a workshop tomorrow at 2 Soho or somewhere. It's in the program. I don't read them until I'm on the way there. And so I'm in booth 411 when you go down into which other room that is. The main ball. You'll see all the spinning forms and all the stuff with the light.
You won't be able to miss it.
Yeah, so it's all, and we have a lot of things to play.
Thank you, Greg. Your website.
My website, metaforms.net.
Jay?
I'll be tomorrow at the Village Room at 8 o'clock speaking about the healing forces of harmonic sounds and vibration and the power of healing with crystal and partonic energy, which is mind energy in action, the power of intention in combination with sounds and vibration. And my booth is 443. You can stop there, and I'll be delighted to give you a demonstration for you how sounds can heal.
Alan?
Yes.
Couple of things. That exercise that I did where you raise the energy, I got that from this guy, Robert Young, who's going to be speaking tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I take a lot from a lot of different people. I'm also taking a tour to the crop circles in June. I'm leading a tour to the circles in Wiltshire. I'll be lecturing on that Sunday at the one of those rooms over there. So come. And, I'm hosting the Sacred Sexuality panel coming in this room in about a half hour, so stay tuned. Okay, so
Great.
thank you.
And give your website.
And my website and television show is New Realities, newrealities.com. Visit the website, watch the television show online.
Yes. Put your website.
My website, you don't have to write www, just powerofharmony.tripod.com. Powerofharmony.tripod.com. And when you go there, go to Analysis of Sound by Imoto. He analyzed the CD that I made. He found 52 healing hexagon in this CD that is producing a lot of healing in many people.
www.starfuentes.com.
Fuentes. And don't forget,
Mitchell Rabin introduced
Mitchell Rabin is speaking Saturday, tomorrow at 6 o'clock on self-empowerment, and I don't remember the rest of the thing. It's in the Sutton Room. Just look in the program guide at 6 o'clock Saturday, tomorrow. PM, that is. And tune into the radio show, the TV show. Just go to abetterworld.net. Love to have you. Thanks so much for coming. Yeah.